My first experience in New York was when I was 28 years old. We were touring here. It was my 20th birthday, in fact. And I woke up at 6 in the morning. We had a really cheap little hotel in Chinatown. And I got in a cab and I said, $15 that way. And he just drove straight. And when $15 was up, I got out. I don't even remember where I was now. And I started walking back to the hotel. As soon as I got out of the cab, Willem Dafoe, hungover from the night before, comes wobbling past me, looking really cool in a skip cap and a leather jacket. And there's a woman walking a few feet ahead of me. And as he walks past her, he goes, "Hey," to this woman. And then he goes to give me a high five and misses. And I'm thinking, I love this place, I'm staying. And every time I've been to New York since then, with the band, I've seen Dennis and Lois. The first time I met them was when we were touring with Doves, and they already knew Doves. They knew Jimmy from being a little boy. Amazing story, that one. And he introduced me to them, and I believe that night our merchandise company, or our record company, hadn't sent anybody to sell our merchandise. So Dennis and Lois jumped behind the counter and helped out. And they've been every sound check in New York since, and it's not right if they're not in the room, It's a lovely thing to have two friends for so long that we see at every concert. So when I was writing New York Morning, I was in a diner, the Moonstruck Diner, somewhere near Bowery, and the sun was coming up, and I was thinking about the people of New York and how ordinary, decent New Yorkers have a real sense of community, and Dennis and Lois have that in spades, It's a sort of, when Lois started getting bad on her feet, I remember her telling me, she was saying, New York's so kind to a lady that needs help. People give up the seat for me, people open doors for me. And she put her finger on what I love about the city, and that's kind of what I poured into the diary entry, which became the song New York Morning.
Nice. And then the video happened naturally because Matt had all the footage. You guys were like,
well, I knew Matt had all this footage of Dennis and Lois, and an ongoing project, because they are such fascinating people, such an incredible personal museum and history, and their love story as well is a deeply touching one. And the fact that they're always together is, really great. And what I admire that they have that most people don't have is they know what they like to do the most. And what they like to do the most is go and see rock shows, go and see concerts. And when you talk to any band from Manchester who's been to New York, generally speaking, they know Dennis and Lois. And of course, the Mondays wrote that song about them, and their long history with Doves and with The Fall and with Frank Sidebottom. And so it's amazing. It's like having a little piece of Manchester overseas. Theirs is the big welcome, So it was always great to see him. Yeah, Lois said when she arrived at the sound check in Washington, she said, "You're the big test." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, I'm not able to get out of this chair, but I've been to a couple of concerts and I've been able to get up and walk around afterwards, that side of my body starts working again. So halfway through the concert, at a really lovely club, the 930 in Washington, we've played there a lot. And they were up on this little balcony to the side, and we looked round, and Lois was stood up at the railings dancing, and it was just, that was perfect, So she reckons she's got to follow us on tour from now on in order to keep moving. And if we can't do that, then I'm just going to have to ring her and sing to her, make sure she can get about.